Tony K for the Artist First Radio Network.
Hello and welcome everybody to another broadcast on the Artist First World Radio Network, home of the best new music you've never heard and home of the best new talk shows that you need to hear. Don't forget to visit our website at artistfirst.com to listen to all our past shows free on demand. They are archived for your convenience. Tonight we have a guest by the name of Tony Nucklez, a great rapper from Norfolk, Virginia. He's going to be here to talk about his past, his future, the present, and we're going to feature some of his songs off his debut album. I have him on the phone with me right now, Mr. Tony Nucklez. Tony, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good, fam. I'm good.
That's good. So, Tony, where am I talking to you from tonight?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, right on. So, I read in your bio that you moved around a lot as a kid, and you ended up in Virginia.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell me about all your travels? Does that influence your music a lot?
I like to say, yeah. Honestly, every place was different. Every person acts different. They treat you different, whether it be accepting or non-accepting. Just different places had its own vibe, its own style of people, you know. So it was a very big influence. A lot of people say I have a down south sound to me and East Coast delivery. So I mean, it's like East Coast lyrics. It's different. You know what I mean? A lot of Southern artists are real hype. A lot of East Coast artists are real serious on getting the message across. And often at times I feel myself doing both together on the song.
That's cool. Now, I read in your bio that your music, you claim to have a unique flow, or a unique style. What do you think makes you unique?
Just the sound, who I am, what I talk about. I don't talk about anything that's not happened or will happen. You know, I don't like living in the fantasy land like most artists do nowadays, and I hate to put them out there like that, but half the people that you listen to aren't even who they really say that they are, and so I consider myself a totally different person when it comes to that aspect. And there's no cuss words on my albums. Whether you think that doesn't make it go hard or have some type of street substance to it or not, you're misinformed. And that's just for me. That's not saying that everybody should do that. That's just how I feel. I just feel that, my delivery and how I come across is just better, well maintained like that. So I just keep it one way, and it seems to work like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Very cool. I think that was a bold move of you to, because of what hip hop is today. There's a lot of derogatory, phrases and words and all that stuff. I think that was cool that you actually stepped up and you said you didn't need to use explicit lyrics for your stuff. Does anybody ever give you a hard time about that?
Not really. Not really. The first time. The first time I met one of my dudes he goes by Big K. Plug him in right quick. Y'all can catch him on YouTube. One of the dopest battle rappers I've ever heard in my life. Biggk. First time I met him, though, I asked him to go in the studio and do a track with me for the upcoming second album, actually, that hasn't even been maintained of dropping yet. And I asked him not to curse on the music, and he kind of looked at me, like it was the end of the world and the sky fell. So I get a different reaction from people when they do that. I guess, because with hip-hop comes attitude, and sometimes with attitude comes verbal content that, just kind of comes out naturally when you show expression, and most rappers come out like that. It's not a bad thing. It's just how certain rappers are, certain artists are. And, when you tell them or you ask them not to do so, they kind of look at you like it's a puzzle, like, well, I'm going to have to redo it,
Right. Now, who do you think throughout while you were growing up, listening to different kinds of music, were you always into hip hop, or did you go through like a rock stage and maybe like a whatever stage? What'd you listen to growing up?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I think as far as I can remember back, I think every young child listens or hears some type of rock song or any type of music that kind of catches them as a child. I can remember Led Zeppelin, listening to Led Zeppelin when I was real young. My mom loved listening to Led Zeppelin. I can remember listening to them, but I can also remember as far back as Coolio coming out with Gangsta's Paradise, listening to that, listening to EP&D, it just varied. Just whatever was catchy, when I was a kid, I listened to, and as I grew older, I fell into what I really wanted to hear,
That's cool. Now, do you think those kinds of songs, like the Led Zeppelin songs and whatever, do you think those influenced your music today?
I honestly, I would like to say yeah, but I can't really say that anybody else really influenced my music except for my friends and family and my life that I kind of experienced. I always appreciated a good artist and appreciated good lyrics and content and struggles that people went through. But I can't really say that anything else is my influence but my friends and family first and foremost.
That's cool. So, people know that when you're rapping, that you're rapping about what you know most about and they're going to know that it's real because it is your friends and family, which is what you know most about. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I was reading your bio, and it seems you've reached a substantial amount of success. What strategies have you used that you found to be successful when trying to gain fans?
Wow. I don't really have a strategy, honestly, to tell you the truth. I'm just myself, man. I just, love or to hate. You know what I'm saying? Like me or leave me. That's pretty much just how my music is. You're either going to like it or you're not. You're always going to have critics, or you're always going to have people that are going to love your music. So, you can't win for lose either way you go. So, I just said the best way if somebody was trying to get fans and success like I have locally and, even out of town, is just be yourself. Music speaks for itself. Real recognize real. That's the best thing I can tell you.
That's cool. Now, I have here your album and your mixtape. The first song that I think we're going to feature here is called "Who You Think." What can you tell us about that?
Who You Think You're Dealing With? That was a track actually made by Michael Carruthers, here in Norfolk, Virginia. He's an up and coming producer, and he hit me with this track, and I was kind of going through like a turmoil kind of with the album. When I was making the album, and it came at the right time. Who you think? So pretty much who you think you're dealing with. I just wanted to state in the song that, I'm probably someone totally different than who you are, or who you think that I am, and there's some cockiness on the track, definitely some cockiness kind of shined out, I felt that it was time to put my foot forward in this song right here. So this is actually the single off the album that will be dropping December 7th.
Okay, cool. Here it is. Who You Think by Tony Nucklez on the Artist First World Radio Network.
Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with?
They watching me make moves, they doubting the boy partner. Official head knocker, hotter than straight vodka. Roadblock stopper, the man so proper. Granddaddy Perk with that two-tone flopper. A monster, I'm bigger than Godzilla. In fact, I'm the smoothest thing shooting the Godzilla of rap. I move fast in the crack at 4 o'clock in the morning. Words on the street, every hood got an informant. Flow so nice that the price must be imported. The Dolce & Gabbana frames fit the face portrait. My eagle's out in orbit, no one can bring it back. It ain't landed, but it's stranded somewhere that's all black. Fall back, it's me, fam, fresh off the streets, man. I catch more front page attention than C-SPAN. I'm catching the heat, man, it's burning my C-stand. This whole album put me in the hole about $3,000.
Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with?
I'm back so heavy and clean, you gotta face it. My poker hands raised like it's Heidi Pratt's facelift. I invented Matrix, right about the basement. Your favorite rapper retired, homie, I'm his replacement. I can reassure my cockiness runs thick. My flow's so arsenal, they say I got a gun list. My brim's pulled low with the in-colored sun kiss. So much swag, black chicks think my son's mixed. I've been around town 10 years strong now. Fan base so heavy it knocked King Kong down. I ain't playing with your boys, this the last straw. I can throw a punchline back just like a fastball. I hook 'em in quick every time I cast off. Serve off rounds like they just yelled last call. I haven't put an album out since last fall. I'm interviewing labels like I'm holding a cast call.
Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with?
They grilling me hard, fam, they talking like I'm gone. They paying me no attention, they come with me all wrong. They shook cause they don't know my moves are so discreet. My moves come off the street, my dogs are off the leash. My motive is so clear, these haters will get mushed. I'll burn up any track like a pound of Cali Kush. My flow's so exotic, the boy brand new. Fresh off the market, your man can't lose. A jack of all trades, I'm a legend here locally. I can count on one hand how many people close to me. That's how it's supposed to be, I keep them at a distance. My whole squad henchmen, my young boys misfits. They say I'm heavy-handed cause when I pimp slap, I split the lip back in half just like a Kit Kat. I love a mismatch, always for the underdog. I split them right down the side just like a gutter ball.
Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with? Who's you think you're dealing? Who's you think you're dealing with?
You just heard Who You Think on the Artist First World Radio Network by Tony Nucklez. Tony, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Now, I'd like to ask you about lyrics. What's your lyric writing process?